Alright guys, how's it going? Welcome back. Well, today we're going to pick up a Mini Clubman that I've agreed to buy for just £1,500. You're probably thinking, that sounds a bit cheap. It's probably got some serious issues. Well, actually, for your information, it does have some serious issues, you're right. It crunches in second gear and might well need a gearbox rebuild. I've been told by the seller that it's difficult to get in second gear. Now, I could be very lucky and it could just be a selector or something that wants lubricating, but I've got a feeling if it's a snick or a crunch, then it's probably the second gear synchromesh and you're into a gearbox rebuild. So we could be looking at about £600 plus VAT to get that repaired. I'm just hoping at £1,500 it's cheap enough to get that repaired and still make a profit. It's a 2008 and it's a Cooper spec, which means it's quite a good spec, and it's done about 85,000 miles. So in theory, or on paper, it's quite good stock, this. They always sell well, the Clubman, because they're quite quirky. I'm just hoping the rest of the car is quite tidy and doesn't need any more money spending on it. Hopefully, if it's just the gearbox, then I can live with that. If it's the gearbox plus tyres, plus brakes, plus paint, then I've got it wrong, very wrong. I don't want to be all negative, but I've never had that much luck with Minis. I think they're desperately unreliable. The build quality isn't exactly enviable. Right, anyway, let's go and have a look, shall we? Let's hope it's a nice one. I'll see you there. Well, we're here. Beginning to wish I hadn't bothered, really. Looks a bit uncared for and unloved. It's British Racing Green with a silver roof with what looks like the Union flag on the top. All the plastics are a little bit faded, although I know a trick with a heat gun which will turn those around. The wheels look a bit battered. There are a few little dents on it as well, quite deep dents, particularly on the top of the driver's door. We're rolling on Devantes on the back. Now there's a bit of damage to the front offside as well. Completely deflated now. On the bright side, at least it doesn't have a crunch on second gear. Oh wait, it does. Right, let me do a quick vehicle history check then. See what else we can learn about the old croc. All you do is go to carvertical.com, type in the vehicle reg or the VIN. In this case it is Papa X-Ray, Preston car, 08 UVT. What's interesting is it's got mini independent plates. So at some point in history, somebody's thought that this was quite a nice car. At some point. I'm guessing that was a decade ago. I've just noticed as well there's a square on the bonnet where it's had probably an L plate on it. Headlamps could do with a polish as well. I hate Minis. Now this check will tell us whether it's ever been stolen, written off, had a mileage rollback or has outstanding finance on it. And it's really important that you do one of these checks before you hand over any cash for a used car or bike. If you want to try this out for yourself, then use my promo code HIGHPEAK and you get 10% off each and every check that you do. And the report's ready. So, 436 million vehicles were checked, over 35 countries. And what do you know, it's all clear. Never been stolen, never had a mileage rollback, no outstanding finance, and there's no recorded accident damage. Now, the mileage, the last recorded mileage was in August 23, at 86,000 miles. Now, I say it like that because that's just been MOT'd recently then. Who MOTs a car and then trades it in immediately? I smell a rat here. Nobody does that. The average market price for such a vehicle is £3,854, with the highest price being £4,400. It's exactly what I thought then, really, that. It is a Mini Clubman Estate, petrol, 1.6 manual. They're just really not reliable cars, these at all. It changed owners in October last year and had its MOT just now. Strange. We've got 3 advisory items. Bear in mind this MOT was done just a week ago. Near side rear tyre slightly damaged, cracking or perishing. Offside rear brake pipe corroded or covered in grease or other material. Subframe corroded but not seriously weakened. Front and rear. Front and rear. Right, interesting. Ah, the joys. Shall we go and have a look? Inside might be nice. Might. Can't really sit in here any longer, can I? Although it is quite nice in here. Let's go and have a look then. You can probably tell from my tone of voice how excited I am. We've only got the Juan key as well. It just looks completely unloved. Right. So my brake discs, oh, they're alright actually. We've got a Devanti, which does look quite perished actually. What's the date on this? How old's this tyre? 2017. It was only 6 years old then. You can see the cracks there on the sidewall, that's not good. And about 4mm of tread. The wheels do look okay though actually. It's missing its Mini logo. And yeah, if you blow a heat gun on that, it brings sort of, I don't know whether it melts it slightly, but it brings all the oils out of it or whatever, and it looks nice and shiny. Look at those. So we've got 1, 2, 3 dents there. They might pop out. They might pop out. I'll have to speak to the lads from Dents and get them to come out and have a look. Up front we've got a RX Motion. That actually looks okay. Oh, it's a Rodex from 2021. Brake discs slightly lipped there. Got a little bit of damage here. That, yeah, I could probably hide that, I suppose. That as well will T-cut out, and I can carefully touch that in. That will look fine actually when it's done. Yeah, we've got probably an L plate there. They'll buff back. They're sitting a little bit gappy there, aren't they? Unless that's just how they are. Like I say, the build quality on these is not great. We've got another matching Rodex up front. You know what, the whole car would look better with just a simple clean. Always blows my mind why people don't bother washing the car before they trade it in. You'll get more money for it, don't be stupid. Oh, look at the state of this. Right, we're into 2 rear tyres then, because that is horrendous, I can't sell that. Look at the cracks in it. That shouldn't have been passed really. That should have been a fail. All they do is advise it just to cover their own backside, but it is an accident waiting to happen. 2017. Wonder why it's cracked so badly. Unless it's had a puncture or something, it's been left flat. Yeah, we've got another square there where the L plate's been. So mini independent plates, front and rear, that's good. And a mini independent sticker. They're an ugly thing, aren't they? But they are quite cool in a sort of funny sort of way. We've only got 1 key, but at least it works. Now these, I think they're spring-loaded, aren't they, these? Not spring-loaded, yeah, whatever you call it. They're on a gas strut, so they fire out like that, which is quite clever. So we're missing a parcel shelf. It's had a dog. Naughty. I hate those little DSG pops and bangs. Moving inside then, we've got half leather, because this is a Cooper spec, and I don't buy rubbish, you know me. How do I open the rear door? Oh, there it is. Yeah, it's not the most practical car, is it? Hop in, kids, watch you don't trip over the seatbelt, or hop out, kids, onto oncoming traffic, and watch you don't trip over the seatbelt. Who thought that was a good idea? Right. Oh, they are 5-seat, these. I thought they were only 4. Got 2 cup holders. Oh wow, look at this. Someone's stuck on some nice diamantes there. They give them my start-stop button a vajazzle. Lovely. No class. No accounting for taste, is there? I'll trap my seatbelt in. Right, oh yeah. Got nice Essex cup holders as well there. Some chewing gum. Lovely. Lovely, very nice. Very thoughtful of them to leave me that. Right, I can't see a book pack, so I don't know whether this has got any history or not. Looking at the state of it, I would say definitely not. No one's looked after this car, have they? Stuck on all this tat. There we go. Stuck on all that tat, but probably haven't ever changed the oil. Idiots. Now, how do you open the bonnet on one of these? My stripes have perished as well, I've just noticed. Look at that. This is a nail, this car. I think I've been had over here, guys. Ah, there we go. Well, it's fairly clean under here, actually. BMW built 2007. Any mayo? No. It's still warm, actually. Looks quite clean, actually, that. maybe it does have history. Who knows? Right, well, it all looks okay, doesn't it? I'll have to run it to my mechanic and see what else is wrong with it that I haven't spotted. Well, so far then, this has just been one disappointment after the other. What would I normally do now? I'd normally look at the service history, wouldn't I? But it doesn't have any. Okay then. How many warning lights we got? Radio 2, which suggests a slightly more mature owner, should I say. I bet, now I haven't started this, but I bet there's that little yellow ramp light that's on every single Mini I've ever touched. Oh no. No, it's overdue a service though. Right. Well, this is making me eat my words, isn't it? There are no warning lights on at all. It's done 86,000 miles. Half tank of fuel. Right, okay. Does the central locking work? That's always a big failure on these. Air conditioning? How about that? Cash me outside, how about that? They really are style over substance, these cars. They're absolute garbage. But the aircon works. Right, this is a bit of a mixed bag, this, isn't it? It's playing with my emotions. That's never been used either. Right, what should we do then? Should we drive it? See how bad this second gear crunch is? Well, I mean, it smells clean at least. It doesn't smell of dogs. Just not a particularly nice car. The engine does actually sound quite sweet, I suppose, on the bright side. The wipers work, and they're Bosch. It's quite solid over the bumps. Brakes feel okay. Clutch is all right. Right, so, oh yeah, gearbox. So we're in first. Can we get second? Oh. For a second there I thought, oh yeah, it wasn't crunching. Sure, the guy said it crunched. Wonder if we can get it to play any other tune. Yeah, that's not great, is it? Well, first's good. Second, not so much. That's actually worse than I thought. I was hoping it was just going to be a synchromesh, but that suggests second gear has packed its bags and flown off. First fine, no whining, no bearing issues, all fine. Second, smooth as you like. Oh no. Third's fine. What about fourth? Fourth is fine. Well, we've got 6 gears, so do we really need second? This is going to be a gearbox rebuild, isn't it? All the other gears work fine though. What a pity. What a pity. You just wouldn't expect the gearbox to fail at 86,000 miles, would you? This is what I mean, they're really poorly built. You couldn't rely on these cars at all. If it's not the gearbox, it's timing chain issues, or they're burning oil, or overheating issues. If you're lucky enough that your Mini doesn't have gearbox issues or electrical issues, then you'll probably find that you've got electrical issues. BMW really covered all the bases. Second, nope. Third, okay. We don't need second anyway, do we? Second is for wimps, wusses. Ah, right. I don't know what to do with this car now. I should just move it on, shouldn't I? Because I've got a funny feeling the second part of this video will start off with me saying, I've overspent, guys. What am I going to do now? It's quite an important gear second, isn't it? It's just like that song, isn't it? You just don't know what you've got till it's gone. I think what I'll do, just for the sake of it, I think I'll run it to my mechanics and get them to price up a gearbox repair. They can whiz the gearbox out and then send it probably over to Tameside Transmissions. That's what I usually use. Get them to do that, then give it a service, a thorough service. Stick 2 new rear tyres on it, MOT it, I guess. Try and clean up those advices, and I suppose just see what the rest of it's like. As you can probably tell, the cogs are turning in my brain. I know I should walk away from it really, but They are quite popular cars, and if it's worth £4,000, if I'm careful with my spend, there could still be £1,000 profit here. Right, let me crack on with the work then, and I shall catch up with you later on. Wish me luck. I think I'll need it. Well, we're back in the green Mini, and are you ready for this? Ready to hear this noise? Did you hear that? Nope, nothing there. I now have a fully functioning second gear, and it was a really easy fix. All I had to do was drive the car to a place called Tameside Transmissions, spend £1,000, and they fixed it for me. It's as easy as that. I was praying it was going to be an inexpensive fix, but that wasn't the case. It actually cost me £800 plus VAT, so £960. But on the bright side, it comes with a 3-month or 3,000 mile warranty. Happy days. That was the first job done. Then when I had a working second gear, I drove it back down to my mechanics for a service, an MOT. And unfortunately the spend didn't stop with the gearbox rebuild. My mechanic called me to say it needed 2 new tyres, front disc and pads, the upper brake light, and what else? Oh, I think that was it. Still another £557 down the drain. From there, I got it back to the garage, and I got the lads from Dents to come round and try and sort this door out. If you remember, it had 3 or 4 big pronounced dents in the door. They spent an hour or 2 on it, and now look at it. They've done a really good job. If you're in the Northwest and you want to use them, the company is D3NTS, which is also the reg of the van, which is quite cool. Anyway, that was another £60, but I think it was £60 well spent, and it saved me painting the whole door. Then I took it to have the wheels refurbished, and a couple of hours later my wheel refurber guy called me and said, "Matt, you're just wasting money here. There's nothing actually wrong with these." So for once I was quite sensible and reserved, and I just picked it up and didn't bother having them done. And they look alright, to be honest. After I'd cleaned it, they did clean up alright anyway. So there's £180 saved. Very shrewd, aren't I? Very shrewd. Then I took it over to the lads at Tameside Valeting in Hyde, who did a full detailed clean on it for me, and it cleaned up really well. They also got a heat gun on the grey plastics, and it now looks as good as new. That's quite a good tip actually. If you apply some heat to it, it kind of draws any oils or whatever out of the plastics and gives it that natural shine. Speaking of natural shines, it is quite warm in here. I need to get Mike out to come and fix the aircon. I think it is trying to work, so I think it'll hold the gas. That's the one job I've still got to have done. Once I picked it up from the valeters, I got it back to the garage and I went round it with some touch-up paint just to touch in any marks. In our showroom we've got a rack full of old touch-up paints. We bought all that touch-up paint actually from a car spare shop next door but one to the garage when they were closing down. That was about 3 or 4 years ago. I can't remember how much exactly we paid. I think it was a couple of £100, but they've come in really handy over the years. The funny thing is though, they're all really old. So for example, we've got Broom Yellow from Fiat. We've got Tahiti Blue from MG. The green I used for this Mini was actually Rover British Racing Green. But it's quite a good match. Ah, I forgot to mention actually, in between all this, the previous owner stopped by the garage and dropped off all the service history, book packs, and a spare key, although it doesn't work. There was me thinking I'd bought a car with no history. Turns out it's got quite a lot. And it drives really well now, you know. I'm actually enjoying driving it, apart from the slightly lukewarm aircon. It's amazing what £1,500 spent will do. After I'd finished touching in any stone chips and marks, I then took some photographs of it and listed it for sale on Auto Trader. And I've got this advertised for $3,995, which I think looks like quite good value really. It's quite a quirky car, isn't it, for somebody? The mileage isn't high, 86, it's in a good colour, so I think it'll sell. I hope it will anyway. I don't think though this will be one of my most profitable deals. I'm not exactly sure how much I've spent in total, so what I'm going to do now is park up somewhere scenic and I'll talk you through my costs. Bit of wheel spin there. Right. Put my window down for a bit of fresh air. So, how much did I pay for the car? I paid £1,500 for the car. Let me get my calculator out. £1,500 for the car. The gearbox rebuild at Tameside Transmissions was £960. The dents cost me £60. The valet cost me £70. The bill at my mechanics was £557 and 9 pence. Very specific. Is that it? I should really make a list, shouldn't I? I think that was it. I didn't change the reg plates, they were okay. Yeah, I think that was it. So my grand total for this cheap Mini, not so cheap Mini, is £3,147 and 9 pence. I've got this advertised at $3,995, so if that sells, it'll leave me with a pre-VAT, pre-tax profit of £848. Not bad going, I suppose, is it, for a £1,500 outlay? Could be worse. Right. On that, oh, I need to do the air conditioning as well. That's going to cost me another 60. Well, the best part of £800 profit, I suppose, isn't to be sniffed at, is it, right now? Right, well, thank you once again for watching. Make sure you give the video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it. Make sure you subscribe if you haven't done already. You can follow me on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter and TikTok. I'll leave the link below. And yeah, cheers guys. See you next time.